So these are two interesting, very new programs that we just won, literally in the last few weeks. I'll start with the one on the right, the National Ecological Observatories Network. So this is a National Science Foundation program. And the idea is that the United States can be broken into 20 ecological zones. And the idea is to build 81 centers of sensors and detectors and analysis centers to figure out what's going on in the United States by measuring everything from climate to water content to all sorts of measures. The sort of stuff we love doing. Big data, figure it out. It was being run by some universities, and they weren't doing a very good job, so NSF asked us if we'd take it over. So we wrote a proposal, and we started just 2 weeks ago, having won that proposal. So for the next 18 months, we'll be paid $211 million. And then there's a 20-year contract at $65 million a year, which is $1.4 billion. So we're talking about a $1.6 billion piece of R&D that is of national impact. And that's sort of interesting. And then the deep borehole field test. So this is really fascinating. So the United States built a nuclear waste repository called Yucca Mountain. Very well designed, very well thought through. In the very last minute, after we'd spent billions of dollars, Nevada, and the governor, the senator from Nevada, said, I've changed my mind. I don't want nuclear waste here. So it was put on hold, it's put on ice. The other waste repository in the United States called WIPP, the Waste Isolation Protection Plant, that was shut down 18 months ago because of an accident. So right now there's nowhere in the United States of America to put nuclear waste. The Secretary of Energy, Ernie Moniz, who's a very good physicist, he studied this problem, and he likes the idea of deep boreholes. So you go into geology you understand, you go down 3 miles, and you put units of waste where they can't be accessed. It's called deep borehole field testing, deep borehole technology. It's been around for quite a while. But right now they want us to test this idea. So here's the experiment. We drill a hole 3 miles down. It's quite a big hole. It's big. And we put a case down there. And in 5 years we bring it up and we look at it. No nuclear materials. Just drill a hole, put a box, bring it back up, see what's happened to it. And that was going to be done in North Dakota. And as soon as we won it, North Dakota said, we don't want it. Why? Well, we don't want nuclear waste in our state. But it isn't nuclear waste. It's an experiment. Yeah, but, you know. So we're looking for another place in another state. So this is where, you know, politics and technology, you better figure it out. Otherwise you may spend a lot of time and money and not get the objective you want. So that's NEON. It's called NEON. Nice name. N-E-O-N. This doesn't have a good acronym. DBFT. Right. Not so good. Okay, this is just fun. This is a 3D printed car. This is a Shelby Cobra 1962. If you buy an original today, they're about 15 million. They're collector's items. We 3D printed this at Oak Ridge using chopped fiber and resin. So we built a building about the size of this room, and we figured out how to 3D print the car. The chassis and the body. Obviously the wheels aren't, and the lights aren't. All of this is, see it says Oak Ridge National Lab. It's got the Oak Ridge leaf. So President Obama and Joe Biden wanted to see this. So it was at the big auto shows in Detroit and everywhere. So we had to, well, we always say yes when the president asks. So we said, sure. So they said, well, he's coming with Vice President Biden. And we said, no problem. And they said, no, there might be. We said, what's that? And they said, well, Vice President Biden has a habit of trying to jump in and drive things. So we want you to Biden-proof it. We said, okay, let's do that. By the way, this has an electric motor in it, and it's street legal because it's considered a kit car because we didn't make bulk manufacturing. It's more to demonstrate it. I mean, you could make them, but we're not planning to. Anyway, so they show up, and we've put various things in the seats to stop anyone getting in the car. And President Obama comes up and he says, oh, you Biden-proofed it. So you must run into that fairly frequently. Now, you know, there was an energy issue here as well about energy efficiency of 3D printing, how to scale up. And we've got some other ideas about how a car can be attached to a house and do energy transfer from the house to the car and back.